Hey guys, before we get started, I just wanted to say that we have a gaming channel and an anime channel, Mystical Gaming and MysticSage. If you like gaming, go check out Mystical Gaming, and go check out MysticSage if you like anime content. Links will be in the description below and in the iCards above. So last week, I uploaded a new kind of video to my channel. Can Ash beat Fire Red and Leaf Green? The premise of that video was to demonstrate using Ash's team in the Kanto world of Fire Red and Leaf Green. I took Ash's team and used it throughout an entire playthrough. In the video, I mainly focused on the important battles, gym leaders, Elite Four, etc. You guys seem to really love this idea of a challenge video series, so I decided to bring it back again, except with Misty. With this challenge though, it is slightly different than the Ash video. Instead of using an anime team, I'm going to be using Misty's Fire Red and Leaf Green team, meaning only Staryu and Starmie. In this challenge, there are some things I want to address before we start, so let's get into it. First and foremost, I am using editing software and an emulator to do this. With doing this, Staryu and Starmie will be at level 5 when I get them. Their starting moves will be Tackle, Harden, and Water Pulse of the modest nature. As a little added bonus, I've also decided to add Misty's signature TM Water Pulse to these two Pokemon before the journey even starts. Misty does give you the TM for it, so I thought it would be natural to include it on both Mons. For Blue starter, I chose for him to have Charmander, so it would be easier for those water Mons to work. In the challenge, I will be able to teach Staryu and Starmie any TMs that are available for it aside from post-game stuff. The same also applies to move tutors. The key TMs I want to teach Starmie are Surf, Thunderbolt, Psychic, and Ice Beam. I say Starmie because Staryu will begin to get less useful as the game progresses. Like the Ash challenge, I will also only be talking about the important battles, so that means Blue, the gym winners, Elite Four members, and Giovanni. With only 2 Pokemon, you guys will also notice on the journey that you will have to grind less and less for Staryu and Starmie. But in the early parts, grinding will be necessary because Staryu and Starmie both have slow experience rates. For an additional rule, I will allow 2 items per battle, just like the gym leaders. I didn't know the exact amount of items a gym leader was allowed in a battle, so I figured 2 is good enough. For one more small additional rule, I will be having my HM Pokemon on the team when I do important battles. I find it tedious to have to keep depositing and withdrawing them. You don't have to worry about me using the HM Pokemon in battle at all either, because there will be gameplay there to prove that I didn't. Oh yeah, speaking of that, one last piece of exciting news for you guys is that I will be providing gameplay. In the Ash video, you guys were pretty vocal in the comments about wanting gameplay, so I decided to provide that. I will be providing gameplay for every important battle in this challenge, and I will be explaining what I did as you guys watch along. There will only be gameplay for important battles though, as I thought the rest of it was just fluff and I didn't want to turn it into a let's play. However, before fights, I will explain what I did prior to the fight. For example, when I get the Celadon for the first time, I plan on teaching Starmie Ice Beam if I have the money. So I will inform you guys of the pre-planning and such, but there won't be any footage for that. I think you guys are pretty well informed of what's going to be happening with this challenge now, so that being said, let's hop into it. Before we head over to Brock, there is a rival battle next to Viridian City. I didn't do that battle because I didn't think it was necessary. Charmander goes down easily and his other Pokemon is a Pidgey. Easy battle, nothing to see here. Starting off the first important battle against Brock, it's a cakewalk. I just used Water Pulse and everything and it was a wrap. There was a little grinding with the trainers in Viridian Forest, but that was it. Staryu even took it Onix as an insult to injury. The next important battle is another rival battle right below the Nugget Bridge. I wanted to take care of that battle, Nugget Bridge, and build before taking on Misty for more experience. For this battle, I grinded up Staryu and Starmie up to level 18 to be on par with Blue's team. Overall, this battle was pretty easy. Pidgeot went down to 2 Water Pulses, Rattata went down to 1, Charmander got slaughtered, and Staryu came in and took an Abra of 2 Water Pulses. I want to use Staryu as well, just not Starmie. Before facing off against Misty, I wanted to make sure Staryu and Starmie were decent levels. I grinded Staryu to level 22 and Starmie to level 23. Going into this fight, I knew it was going to be a pain in my butt. The main strategy I used was spamming Water Pulse. You want to hope for hacks such as confusion and crits, because that's literally the best you can do against Misty. Staryu goes down pretty easy to Water Pulse, so no problem there. Starmie is the annoying problem though, because it has Recover. I just spam Water Pulse and eventually I got lucky with a crit and some confusion hacks. Starmie loved the spam Recover though, and that infuriated me a little bit, but hey, I got past it. The next battle takes place on the SSN, and before facing off against Blue, I did a little grinding on the ship. I skipped the route on the right side of Vermilion because I didn't want to get too powerful. Hopping into the actual battle, it's pretty simple. Staryu can take on most of the Pokemon no problem just using Water Pulse. The only threat was Raticate with Hyper Fang. I switched out the Starmie for this because Hyper Fang is stupidly powerful at this point in the game. Starmie also took care of Kadabra because it can hit pretty hard. Before facing off against Lieutenant Surge, I went and captured a Bellsprout for Cut and Flash. This will be useful for Rock Tunnel. Flash is also optional, so you don't need to do that. I did not do any grinding for Surge, so both my Mons are the same levels as they were before. My Pokemon were more than high enough to take him on. Before diving into the battle though, let me just say, despite him having the type advantage, Surge is not threatening at all. His Pokemon are all frail. Staryu can handle both Voltorb and Pikachu no problem, but for Raichu, swap out the Starmie and watch its frail defenses fall quickly. For my battle, I kept Staryu in for Raichu, but I also got hacks and the Goober Surge went for a full heal, so your luck could be different than mine. But hey, Staryu soloed this battle and it didn't take a single point of damage. For Raichu though, I would just use Starmie for safety purposes. His Raichu still has access to Shockwave and can hurt you pretty bad. After the Battle of Surge, I headed over to Rock Tunnel. I grinded on some trainers prior on the route and wound up getting Staryu up to level 28. I replaced Water Gun with Bubble Beam because it has better damage, and who doesn't like better damage? At this point in the games, you will also start to notice how overleveled these Pokemon are starting to get despite having slow growth rates. This means there will be less outside grinding you'll have to do for these two. I grinded on a lot of trainers in Rock Tunnel, then below Lavender Town on the dock route up to the Sleeping Snorlax, and the ones in between Celadon and the second underground path to Celadon. Once you get the Celadon, immediately head over to the Celadon Mansion to pick up T. Take the T to the guard at the Saffron Gate and he will let you through. Once in Saffron, get Psychic from Mr. Psychic and teach it the Starmie. After, depending on how much money you have, there's a chance you can pick up another TM of importance being Ice Beam. I think Ice Beam at this point is better than Thunderbolt is, but the choice is up to you. It doesn't really matter. This is the point in the story that Staryu will start to see less use, but I will still use Staryu as much as I can. Starmie is going to start being the front runner. I will still use Staryu in funny moments and such though, and I will try and use it as much as I possibly can. You also have the option of either choosing to do the Celadon Game Corner first or battle Erica. I battle Erica first, but the option is yours. Erica time. Before I battled her, Staryu was at level 33 and Starmie at 35. They are both decently leveled for this battle, so there is no additional grinding needed. The main strat for this battle is Psychic with Starmie. Everything goes down in one hit of Psychic. There is no difficulty with this battle at all if you use Starmie. Staryu can't do anything against Erica because it only has water moves. So yeah, one hit everything with Starmie Psychic and you're rolling. Next up came the Giovanni battle in the Rocket Game Corner. This battle is relatively simple. Staryu can solo Rhyhorn and Onix with ease. Kangaskhan is a tad bulky though and can be threatening to Staryu. I stayed in with Staryu though and wound up getting knocked out. Just stay in with Starmie and save yourself the trouble. Starmie can take out Kanga decently well with Psychic, no problem. Just spam Psychic and it'll go down. A couple of things before I headed over to Lavender Town to challenge Blue. I taught Starmie Ice Beam and got rid of Tackle. I forgot to do that before Giovanni because I'm a derp. Hopping into the main battle, it's pretty easy because of the level difference. You're practically 10 levels higher, or even 12 in my case. Starmie can pretty much one-hit everything no problem. It'll take 2 Psychics to take out Gyarados unless you picked up Thunderbolt instead of Ice Beam. The level gap makes this match easy. Also, don't forget to heal up. Don't be like me. Before going to Koga, I recommend doing a couple of things. Grind on Cycling Road for extra experience, and grind for the trainers to the side of Fuchsia City, going up to Lavender Town. Also, capture a Pokemon for Fly, and go capture one of the Sleeping Snorlax for Strength and other HM usages if need be. I also went to the Safari Zone for the Surf HM and taught to both Staryu and Starmie, replacing Water Pulse for it. That's all the prep and extra stuff I did, now on to Koga. Just take a look at Koga's team. Yeah, this is a joke to Starmie. Literally just spam Psychic and you're good. That's all you have to do. Koga's a cool character, but he's a big joke to Starmie. After Koga, we have our 5th rival battle. Honestly, I didn't even need to do much grinding here. Starmie is very overleveled, so the different advantages Blue might have aren't really an issue at this point in time. I decided to use Staryu a little in this battle, and was pleasantly surprised with how well it held up. It took out Pidgeot and did decent damage to other Pokemon as well. It wasn't able to take out Charizard, however. So for some of the most difficult Pokemon, just use Starmie. If you have money, pick up Thunderbolt, as it'll make your life a whole lot easier. If you don't, then just use a couple Psychics and you're good to go. Overall, it was a fairly easy battle. Giovanni's Silph Co battle is somewhat similar to the Rocket Game Corner battle. We have the Rhyhorn and Kangaskhan, but trades the Onix out for a Nidorino and a Nidoqueen. All in all, this is a pretty easy battle, even for our unevolved Staryu. Just spam Surf on everyone besides Kangaskhan. Once he sends her out, switch to Starmie. We don't want to play too risky at this point. But yeah, the amount we have overleveled our Pokemon really shows at this point, as a lot of these battles are incredibly easy. Before I went to face Sabrina, I picked up Thunderbolt, as it will come in handy for some trainers inside of her gym, as well as a lot of teams later on. Also, at this point, Snorlax was taught Strength, as that will be a much needed move for getting around parts of Kanto. Now we have our battle against the Psychic type specialist, Sabrina. Even though these aren't Gen 1 rules anymore, Sabrina and her Psychic types can still be pretty intimidating. Now, I was curious to see how well Staryu could fare against her team, and it didn't end so well. Kadabra was able to set up Calm Mind, got healed, and then proceeded to one-shot my Staryu. So it was up to my Starmie from here on out, which wasn't too worrying as half the other Pokemon will still get KO'd by Surf. I did try the on her Venomoth, but it didn't quite get the job done. She healed it, and then I proceeded to knock it out with Psychic. This came in handy as it was her last one, which saved my butt from Alakazam. If that hadn't happened, Sabrina could have gotten a nice calm-minded attack off on Starmie, which would have been bad news. But I was able to take it out in 2 Surfs and earn myself a Marsh Badge. Overall, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Before we get the Cinnabar, you'll want to grind up a bit on the water routes. Once you get to a satisfactory level, you can make landfall on the island. Head into the Pokemon Mansion as you'll want to pick up the Blizzard TM for Staryu. I think it's a nice alternative for it rather than wasting money on Ice Beam. However, if that's what you'd like to do, then go ahead. We have our 7th gym battle here being Blaine. Blaine's gym is insanely easy. I mean, so easy that Staryu can solo the whole battle of Hydro Pump. Now, if Staryu happens to go down, Starmie will wrap up the battle even easier compared to Staryu. I wish there was more to talk about in this section, but it's just that easy. Now, before I head to battle Giovanni, I just wanted to mention that I'm going to be skipping over the Sevi Islands. Sure, it can help with grinding a bit, but it's just not interesting enough for me to go out of the way for it. I know I should grind up a little more at this point, but Giovanni should be pretty easy. So at the time, I decided against it and chose to just fight his gym trainers before his battle. We have our final stand against the Team Rocket boss, Giovanni. Packed with even more ground-type Pokemon, this battle is beyond easy. In fact, you can one-shot his entire team with just Staryu and Hydro Pump. Now, if Hydro Pump misses, just go back to using Starmie and finish it up with that. There's not much else that needs to be said here. It's that simple of a battle. Now we have our final rival battle before the Pokemon League. It's pretty much more of the same like with the Blaine fight, so nothing should really surprise you. I decided to use Staryu for the first 3 Pokemon, but it really only lasted a little bit before Alakazam took it out, so it might just be better to use Starmie for this entire battle. You should definitely grind up a little more than I did, but it's really not that big of a deal. Yeah, it was a little more challenging than normal, but nothing that can't be handled. All of Blue's Pokemon go down really easy, aside from Alakazam and even Charizard. Future Sight hits decently hard, and Charizard managed to take a Surf and almost knock me out. If Starmie would have just been a little bit higher leveled, it would have been pretty easy for the most part. But now with that battle out of the way, we can make our way to the Pokemon League. Now before we get to the Elite Four, we naturally have to go through Victory Road. It's pretty simple for the most part. However, there was a trainer in here with an insanely annoying Chansey. I forgot the capture footage of this battle, but take my word for it, it was not fun, especially having all special attacks. I wish you luck, as that is what I had to rely on to beat her. Aside from that, here on out was prep for the Elite Four. I decided I wanted to make things a bit more challenging for these battles, so I opted to not use items during the battle itself. However, I permitted myself to use them afterwards. I bought 15 full restores in preparation for that. Also, make sure you have some PP restoring moves, as those are an absolute must-have for some of these battles. The final levels of the team before entering were 60 on Starmie and 54 on Staryu. Starmie's going to be the MVP here, so I didn't really see a point in leveling Staryu up any more than that. And with that, you can drop every other HM Slate Pokemon into the PC because they are no longer needed. Now heading into the first match of the Elite Four, naturally we face off against Lorelei. Now for Lorelei, you're going to be up to 9 levels over-leveled of Starmie versus her weakest Pokemon, Cloyster, and only about 6 levels with her 2 strongest being Lapras and Jinx. Basically, what you're going to want to do is spam Thunderbolt. Most of her Pokemon will go down in 2 hits from a Thunderbolt. Now if you happen to get status, just take advantage of Starmie's natural cure and switch in the Staryu. The biggest obstacle on Lorelei's team, no doubt, has to be Lapras. Lapras will hit you with a Confuse Ray, followed by Body Slam to inflict good damage, as well as an attempt to paralyze you. You won't always get lucky here, so you can either reset or just try to tough it out if things get a little too annoying right off the bat. But if you can handle Lapras, then you'll be good for the rest of the battle and should be able to tear through all of our other Pokemon. Next up is Bruno, who is in no way a real threat to the team by any means. All of his fighting types are 2 times weak to Starmie Psychic, and both of his Onix are 4 times weak to Surf. Honestly, we could have came into this battle a little underleveled and it would still be a cakewalk. Even Staryu could do well here, in my opinion. Just like I said, spam Surf on Onix and Psychic on the fighting types near Golden. I will say one thing though, strangely enough, Bruno's Machamp didn't go down to 1 Psychic. I think if Starmie were just 1 level higher or got a crit, it would have been a one-shot and everything. Alas, that wasn't the case. Just use Psychic again until Machamp goes down. He'll then turn his head in shame from the defeat. Our third battle is up against Agatha, and she's just about as easy as Bruno's team was. Now, while she claims to be the Ghost-type specialist of the Elite Four, we really know that she's a Poison-type specialist, which, just like Bruno, is good news for our Psychic using Starmie. Now, on Golbat, I got a little cocky thinking Ice Beam would also one-hit KO, but that just was not the case, unfortunately. It really didn't cause any sort of inconvenience, other than just wasting a little bit of time. Just go for the Psychic and you'll be good. At this point, you might want to use an Ether or 2 on your moves, and with that, we're in the home stretch. Now we've moved on to the final Elite Four member, Lance, and once again this battle should be no problem at all. At this point, your Starmie should be pretty evenly leveled with most of the Pokemon going forward, while Staryu is a tad underleveled, but that shouldn't cause you any concern. For starters, you'll be dropping a Thunderbolt on his Gyarados as it's 4 times weak to Electric. Then just give all his Dragon-type Pokemon an OHKO with Ice Beam. Almost every single one of them will go down. I say almost every single one, as Dragonite surprisingly didn't go down in 1 hit, and was a little bit more of a pain to deal with. If Starmie was just 1 level higher, it would have happened, but no matter, it was still able to go down without much fuss. Then for Lance's Aerodactyl, let's hit him with the Surf, and he's down for the count. A fairly easy win that will give you access to that long-awaited champion battle. Now before I took on Blue's challenge, I used an elixir to make sure that Starmie was well prepared for this fight, and it wasn't going to be as easy as the last 3. Most of Blue's Pokemon are up to snuff, so it's definitely going to be a little bit more challenging. For his Pidgeot, you'll want to use either Ice Beam or Thunderbolt. It should take about 2 hits if things go your way. However, in my case, Blue not only healed Pidgeot, but also hit me with an accuracy dropping Sand Attack, which made things a little more annoying than I wanted. Next for Gyarados, you want to use Thunderbolt. In most cases, it should take it out in 1 hit. I just happened to get unlucky. I did get the paralysis off, however, so that was nice. suppose. Next for Executory, I was trying to get a knockout with Ice Beam, but fell a little short. This was not amazing because I was then put to sleep, forcing me to switch out to Staryu for Natural Cure. Blue dropped the Full Restore on Executory, so I decided to take a risk of Staryu and see if I could knock it out with Blizzard, and it worked with the help of a nice crit. Starting with Ice Beam is a safer option, but just know you can get lucky here. Alakazam was nothing to write home about. I just used 2 Surfs and that was the end of it. At this point, I was feeling pretty confident and wanted to see if I could possibly take out Charizard of Staryu. Well, it outsped Staryu and got a one-hit KO off with Fire Blast. I wasn't really thinking here as I thought I had Hydro Pump on Staryu, but I forgot to save my game at one point and just never bothered to have it relearn it. However, it wouldn't have mattered anyways. So out came Starmie to finish the fight off. I used Surf twice and just like that, the battle was over. I became champion with nothing but the Starmie line. This was the toughest battle in this challenge for sure, but wasn't extremely difficult by any means. Well, there you have it. It is possible to beat Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green with just Misty's team. The challenge itself wasn't that hard because Starmie is a complete monster and has the ability to learn a lot of coverage attacks. Staryu kind of gets dropped towards the middle point of the game, but it still is able to perform alright. What'd you guys think though? Do you guys want more videos like this? Let me know down below. These videos take a lot of time to make, so I hope you guys did enjoy as well. Share this video around. Let's show the Pokemon community something new is afoot. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream a lot of Pokemon content and all kinds of other Nintendo content like Zelda, Fire Emblem, and much more. Want to support me further in game called Perks? Check out my Patreon. Daniel Leone, Lady Crimson, Memory Martin, The Lazy Leo, Matthew Young, Austin Lega, Jarrett Weiss Austin, Sodden Grider, and Enigma97 did, and I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Chapter, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.